What did Jesus say? Fear not, for evil has no power over you. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, because his rod and staff are with me. Those angels are with you. So it's simple. Stay positive and a nice, warm smile on your face, because that shines bright to your friends that walk by. Just a frown on your face can cause a person to think, oh my God, make them that smile brings a light, and that's what we've got to do, is shine the light and don't live in fear. Whatever happens, we have more control over that than we understand by being positive and awakened to a truth. Once we all learn we can have that connection, humanity will get very powerful. We'll go to the stars, ascend.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house. So weird. Wow.
This is a pretty important special episode, and this one will be very dear to my heart. So for a little context, back in 2008, when the Discovery Channel did like a whole investigation on my property and everything of my father, they aired that. You should totally check it out if you haven't seen it up to this point. It's called UFOs Over Earth. It's this dinky little Discovery Channel documentary. Anyway, when they did the investigation, they brought like a psychologist to do a regression, a hypnotic regression of my father. So they basically put him in a trance. He started to recount his missing time and his interaction with the entities. And I have not had my hands on this document for 14 years. So my dad, for a year, when he had his encounter in 2007, he had 4 hours of missing time that night on the river. It took him about a year to report his UFO sighting to MUFON, and then they came out very swiftly. They did the investigation. They made a documentary, facilitated a hypnotic regression, and there was a lot of information that came out in the regression that blew their minds. The problem is, when we tried to get our hands on a copy, they would not give us a copy. They claimed that they had lost the evidence or lost the tape or whatever. So to get to the point here, last week, through sheer synchronicity, I got my hands on a copy of my father's own hypnotic regression. And when you read through it, my dad clearly says that the beings are made of pure energy. They're made of light. They're like the guardians of nature. They guide us through evolution. And for many years, people have tried to say that my dad wasn't saying that from the start, but he was.
Yeah, and this is proof.
Yeah, it's proof. It's in his original MUFON report that the beings told him they were angels, they were, beings of light, whatever. So this might be basically like the origin document of one of the most important UFO channel materials of all time.
Absolutely.
And we're going to read it right here on today's episode.
Yep.
They never gave us a copy, and I happen to have a transcribed version of the audio slip through the cracks and make it back into my hands. And it's only justice in the universe because he's my father. I really feel like a victory in getting this document after all these years.
It's so awesome. I'm so excited. So I'm going to start from the very beginning. This is the transcript of the 2-hour regression with Chris Bledsoe Sr. minus the induction part by Dr. Michael O'Connell, July 14th, 2008. The first person that speaks in the transcript is Chris. So it says, Chris, don't touch me, get away, frightened, don't touch me, don't. Where are we going? Where am I? I'm in the sky. It's high. And then Michael says, you're okay. And Chris says, am I awake? I don't know where I am. It's dark. Noise. Michael says, tell me about the noise. And Chris says, don't do it. I feel it. I feel it inside my body. It's vibrating. Dark. Why me? A cold walk. Where are we going? Where am I? I'm in the sky. A light. I couldn't move. It came over. I was hiding. It came over. I could reach over and touch it. It paralyzed me. Michael says, can you see anything? And Chris says, I can see the stars. I can see the stars. I made the stars, like when I was 12. I'm in a row. It's dark, but it's like looking through glass. I see stars that were around me, above me. I don't know how it got here. Then it says, Chris's description of where he was taken during the first fishing trip that was virtually identical to the description of where he had been taken after he was shot at the age of 10 and was lying face down in the dirt. Michael says, are you in a room? And Chris says, I'm in a room. It feels like a room. I could hear the echo of like breathing. I don't know how I got here. They got me. There's a light. Orange bulbs. There's 2 of them. They grabbed me. I get to know what it was that grabbed me. That was probably I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
There's another one. It saw me. I looked at the other one, change colors and shape. It's over my head, paralyzed me. Now where I'm at, I see the stars. I could hear myself breathe. It's echoing like there's a wall. There's like walls and I can see through them. The light over my head is shining down on me. What's going to happen? Michael, what do they look like? Chris, I can see them. They're tall and scary. I can't move. They're reaching for me. Tall. Michael, they've got long arms, long fingers. They're not speaking. They're looking at me. 4 of them. Michael, they're looking at you with their eyes? And Chris says, uh-huh. Michael, what do their eyes look like? Chris, they're black. Big. I'm just scared. Tall, very tall and skinny. I'm scared. I just want to find my son. Michael, are they still touching you? Chris, yeah, they're around me. Michael, 4 of them? Chris, uh-huh. That's what it's called. I want to go. Oh, I see my son. See, he's okay. They're watching after him. What do you want? Why me? I love my family. Please take me home. They're talking with me. Michael, what are they saying? Chris, strong, promise. Michael, are they telling you to be strong? Chris, uh-huh. They're telling me not to worry. Why me? All my life. My son's life. Promise. I'll be strong for them. I know. Tell them not to worry. Hard. Okay. I love my family. I'll calm down. Why? Why was I chosen? Where are we? Michael, are they telling you why you were chosen? Chris, uh-huh. Michael, what reason was that? Chris, since birth, before birth. It's possible. Everything's possible. They're my guardians. Every time I get sad, they're here. I know I was sad. Promise. Then Michael says, ask them if they helped you when you were shot as a little kid. And then Chris says, when I was shot, was it you? Uh-huh. I'm in the same place. So soothing. I can see the stars, everything. I remember. Remember Montana. Okay. Kids, somebody's children. Those children too? Okay, I'm trying to calm down. Tall. My children are tall. And then it says, the Remember Montana reference was referring to a hunting trip that Chris and his dad took in 2003.
My grandfather. Chris is my
Right.
father. His dad is my grandfather.
It was a family trip. It included Chris, his dad Ted, Ted's brother, and his 2 sons, 2 of Chris's wife Yvonne's brothers, and a neighbor. They hired a guide for the trip. But members of the hunting party and their guides were separated, and Chris wasn't in contact with any of them when he saw ahead a very large UFO at low altitude zoom over his head and disappear. So Michael says, what are you promising them? And Chris says, to protect and look over my family. I'll do everything in my power to help my mom and dad and the other people. I know I have to be strong. I'm just scared. I've had these dreams all my life. I couldn't sleep because of these dreams. Am I dreaming now? Uh-huh. My son, my children, I just want to find him. I'll calm down, okay, and I'm scared. I don't want any harm to come to him, and I was sad. Is that why you come? I cried a lot. I just want to go home. And then Chris says, like they're talking to one another. I can't understand. Michael says, are they paying attention to you now? Chris, I know they are, but it doesn't appear they are. They are. Skinny. Michael, how tall are they? Chris, real tall. 7 foot or better. They look almost human in the face, and their eyes are big. They're not human. Not human. They look a greenish and blue. Grayish blue, maybe. Paying attention to me. And I'm nervous. Michael, what did the room look like? Chris, it's round, it's dark. There's lights, controls on one side to my right hand and a head. Colored lights like a console, like computers or something. It's like glass, you can see through it. Lights not shining over my head like it was. I can see below, above, the stars in every direction, glow from the controls. Nobody sitting at them. They're just talking. Night. Michael, what's their attitude towards you? How did they feel about you? Chris, feels like care, concern. No expression. I can hear them talking. I don't see their mouths moving. I can hear the voices, and I know why they're talking. I know they're talking about me. They want me to calm down. They're trying to make me feel comfortable. You were assigned to me? They were with me before I was born. They take care of certain people. In my mind all along, I just didn't know it. Are you talking to me? Wow. They say in times of trouble, they're here for me. They're concerned, and they're here all along. I just never knew it. They're talking to me. Wow. I didn't know that. A voice, a silent voice. I always knew something was protecting me. I just felt that. I just knew things. No, I better understand. I think probably now I better understand. Promise. I promise. I'll do my best. I promise. Okay. I love my children. I do. All of them. I know these things. I've always been curious. I don't know. I just had a knack. Where are we? You're pure energy. How old are you? They've been here forever. Then Michael says, they've been here since before you were born. Were they with you in another lifetime? Chris, yes, before I was born. I didn't have to speak to talk to them. They're in my thoughts. Are you angels? Light, creation. I believe in God. Okay, I create you. Yes, they do everything. So you are in angels. Don't answer that. They just work for creation. Better, my son's fine. Michael, are they the same ones that later in the day you saw in your backyard?
Yes.
Chris, that's their children. They let them out to play. Michael, in your backyard. Chris, they come to take care of us, teaching them. I want to go home. Why do they shine? Michael, are all their eyes black? Chris, they look alike. Michael, do their children look like their parents? Chris, yes, sort of. They're glowing. They have protection on. Michael, have they been in your home? Chris, regularly. Michael, how long have they been there? Chris, since I was little. They're invisible. Michael, if they're invisible, how do you know when they're in your home? Chris, I just knew. I wondered what it was. Michael, are they with you now? Chris, they're looking after me. Michael, are they guardians for your family? Are they looking after your entire family? Chris, yes, and they have been for generations. I never knew that. I just wondered. Michael, how does that make you feel? Chris, happy, relaxed. It's like electricity. The hair stands up on my arms and legs. Michael, were there beings with red eyes? Chris, the children have red eyes. That's protection. They have a suit on, transparent, glass, learning. They're learning about us. Lifeguards. Michael, why are they wearing them? Chris, they travel everywhere, into different worlds. They wear them until a certain age, learn to use their abilities. There's not just one universe. Michael, there are other universes? Chris, that's what they say. Other dimensions. Michael, do they come from other universes, other dimensions? Chris, they can go anywhere, through time, other dimensions. I promise. Michael, are they talking to you again? Chris, yes. Michael, where is their home? Chris, no place we know of. A dimension just a second away. Whenever they want to be here. Michael, why did they come here to this earth? Chris, to learn balance. It's almost like a garden to them. Michael, what is it that they balance? Chris, existing life of all kinds, everything, to measure all details. For eons they've been doing that. Not just here, a lot of places. In the blink of an eye, there, in and out. I'm tired and I want to go home. Michael, Where's your home, Chris? Chris, far away, beyond Andromeda. And Michael says, do they have a family here? Chris says, it's sad, very sad. Michael says, you're still learning now. You still want to go home? And Chris says, I want to see my son. Michael, are they ready to let you go home? Chris, they told me whenever I want, I can always go back home. Michael, how did you get from that place back to the road? Chris, they brought me back. Michael, how did they do that? Chris, they brought me back to the ground. Michael, did they land? Chris, no, it didn't touch the ground, but it was just above the ground. I see the spikes, the twinkle. We appreciate you joining us for this episode. We hope that was enlightening and entertaining and mind-blowing. It sure is to me. I mean,
dude, I just have a major emotional attachment to this because, again, my dad, it's just this weird compartmentalization thing where I grew up with a father who is one of the big UFO cases. So in my mind, it's very strange, like not only breaking this document, but I have this, intense emotional attachment to it. That's kind of like one of my family legacies.
Especially because for 14 years you thought you'd never seen it.
I thought I would never hear it again. I thought I would never even come close to this document ever again. And again, like these are the words of my father. So I just feel like it's justice in the universe that this landed back in my lap. And I do want to say like this, I have heard the audio tapes from the original encounter. Like this is the real content of my father's regression, even though it's some weird transcript. So I do want to thank Grant Cameron for getting that to me.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to say?
That was wild. That was so wild. It was a pleasure reading through that.
This is channeled material.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house. See it hovering, but it's just in